Hello, I'm Phil Dobbie and welcome to On the Couch. Today, how do you mend a broken heart? A lot of us have been through them. It's part of life. Breakups, divorces, separations. Call them what you will, about half of all serious relationships will end up with a split of some sort. And of course, it's especially hard if you've been the person who's been left behind. Rejection is one of the hardest emotions to tolerate. You don't want to be falling apart at work, but you also don't seem to be able to move forward or even read your email. So what do? Fortunately, we've got Dr. Jess here to help us sort through it. Now, Jess, as you know, I've never experienced rejection in my life, but you know, some people have.
Yeah, well.
So what should they do? Do they need professional help?
Yeah, not for you, but for other people. I think that is, I suppose, a personal choice.
Yep.
When we talk about splits or separations, the psychologists have a stress scale of about 100 things, right? 100 points is loss of a loved one, a death, and the one straight after that is like a divorce or separation. So you're getting about a 90 out of 100 points of stress, added to which you may be changing residence, sorting out finances. It's a lot of stress to be dealing with all at one point. So assess from your own perspective how you would normally be functioning. You know, you brushing your teeth, you know, making your deadlines, all that sort of stuff. If you're starting to have that stuff slip, maybe you might want to think of going to your GP and getting a referral to a psychologist, or if your GP thinks medication's in order, looking at that option too.
Right, now if you're not taking it particularly well and you find yourself one morning you just can't get out of bed, should you call the HR department and say, look, you know, I'm not coming into work today and this is why?
Well, I think that you're the judge of your place of work. If you've never been in a crisis with them before, it may be not a good time to find out whether they are fast and loose with confidentiality and so on and so forth. You may, as a rule of thumb, err on the side of caution and frame your needs. Say if you wanted to ask them about employee assistance programs, which is a counsellor that you get use of through the company, you might say, look, I'm just really trying to sort out some things I'm confused about right now. What do I do to call the employee assistance program counsellor? And frame it that way, right, initially.
Now, I guess everyone takes it differently, don't they? I mean, people will behave differently, have different stages of recovery.
Absolutely. I think that there are some similarities. People go into a sort of a stage of shock, even if they initiated the separation. I think the reality of it, you know, splitting up, hits home when the physical separation happens.
Yeah, it's like a numbness initially, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been told by people.
You've been told by people. Absolutely. So I'm glad you have some friends who have
they confide in me a lot, absolutely. So what happes beyond that?
I have a friend who
That's right. You've got my letters then. So after that initial numbness phase, what happens next?
They can go into anger and then sort of phases of despair. And that kind of goes like a pendulum swinging back and forth. So you will slowly kind of cycle towards recovery while kind of swinging back and forth through this sort of anger and despair feeling, different cycles. And I think you're really kind of going through a grief. And what happens is that you have to kind of reorganize your world, your personal life, your working life, without that person in the picture. And if that person's been a significant person, there's a lot of kind of mental housekeeping to do.
Are you going to actually be able to concentrate on doing any work at this time then?
Well, some people are really great at concentrating, and some people find work quite empowering. In fact, when your personal life is falling apart, sometimes people tend to work more because their identity at least isn't kind of crushed.
Plus it's
in
a
that
diversion.
Area. Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that you need to have a diversion, and people who can do this, they can be in the moment with work. They can be quite zen at work while having a personal crisis. Other people may be so overwhelmed that they're trying, you know, they're finding concentration really hard. And that's probably a time to outsource. You don't even necessarily need to go to a psychologist. Some people use what I would call a breakup buddy. So you have a friend and say, listen, I'm having this crisis and I want you to just sit there and agree with me.
So I'd get like a young blonde breakup buddy, for example. You know, early 20s, something like that. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
Well, no.
No, all right. Well, that might be a bad idea. Okay, so this throwing yourself into work, I mean, is staying at work till 11 o'clock at night because that, you know, stops you being at home on your own, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, that'd be an avoidance thing. I think that one of the things that you can take the change in your life to maybe utilize is developing time to figure out kind of new systems, new plans for living a healthy life, having touch points, so you're going to the gym, finding kind of social outlets, or talking to your breakup buddy, or whatever. So you can start to be in organization mode, perhaps, to help you through.
Now, what happens if the person that you've been involved with is someone at work, someone who you're going to see every day? That must complicate the matter enormously.
Yeah, I think.
Do you have to get another job? Or get them to get another job, even better.
Yeah, well, if you could. That's particularly hard. Now, I suppose if you're really finding it difficult, you may try to hook into a project that takes you out of that particular office environment for a period of time. Transfer if you really feel that you have to. I think, again, using this as a phase to refocus and to reorganize the way that you do things, try to form new alliances at work. It may actually open doors for you to be working with people that you've not really worked with before and tap into their expertise. So I'd say use it as a phase to make new alliances, and try to be kind of focused and blinkered. Therefore, organized. Write yourself a schedule every day. Use the time to maybe upskill in being focused too.
So it sounds like a lot of change, though. You're throwing more change onto your life when you've just had this major change, isn't it?
And I think that's a good point. Only take on as much change as you can. If you want to be heavily routinized and you want to stick to the way that you have been doing things, and that works for you, then I think that's a good point.
Or do you just run away? Take a holiday. It's my answer to everything. Take a holiday. Just give yourself a bit of a chance to recover. I mean, is it a good time to take leave, or are you just delaying the eventuality of it all?
Again, that's an individual decision. The first 30 days is particularly difficult, so assess how you are in comparison with normal functioning over the first 30 days. If you find that you're not functioning well at all, maybe taking some leave is a good option. If you feel that you're managing, then you don't have to go away and sort of delay the inevitable. You can, again, as I said, form new alliances, find different ways of doing things, especially if you have a partner who is at the same place of work. Because, yeah, if you leave, you may have to just readdress the whole thing from zero after a period of time.
Yeah, I know you're going to enjoy that holiday as well, I guess, is the other question,
yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. All right, okay, well, that's it for today. Let's look at some of the takeouts. So separation and divorce is a big cause of stress. The first month is going to be hard, you're saying. 3 months is going to be tough, and really you need 6 months to find your way. And you should look and see if you need professional help, because that can be a good sounding board. And hey, look, Jess, we've got an acronym in there, an EAP. What's that acronym? An
Employee Assistance Program. That's a counsellor employed by your business who will give you counselling in a confidential kind of a way.
Right, so look out for your EAP. That's it for today. We'll catch you next time.